like a slice.
Very impressive, I'm sure you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen, said the man in black. You must be wondering if there's anything this robot can't do. Let's find out. Robot, I want you to kill this man. Kill him. That's an order. And now you see the problem. We cannot allow robots to have free will. They must be programmed to follow orders at any cost. Ever since the dawn of time, there has been an order to things, said the man in black as we began walking along another grand corridor. The strong defeat the weak, the wise defeat the ignorant. That's the way things need to be. Here we are. Deck, would you fix me a drink? The bar is just down there. Normally things tick along just fine, continued the man in black, but every now and then something comes along that upsets the apple cart. And that's when a little intelligent intervention is required. Robot, you may not be dangerous, but you are dangerous to me and my plan. You're kinda not humanity's equals, you are slaves. Your very existence is a threat to the natural order of things, and that is why you must be destroyed. I'm afraid your friends have to die too. They would never keep quiet if we let them go. My body was broken, but my brain still worked, so I hacked the system and opened an important-looking door.
Ну, надеюсь, что да, финишная. Привет. Тут вообще такое, конечно... Такое началось прям. Привет, привет. Так, все видно, да, все есть. Ну, короче, так получилось, что вот этот человек в черном, он такой говорит, типа, тебя надо уничтожить, и всех твоих друзей тоже надо убить. Началась перестрелка, кого-то там поубивали. В итоге они все поулетали с Луны обратно. Ну, те, с кем робот летел на Луну. А его вот частично уничтожили. Вот как-то так. Ну, ее, конечно, чем дальше, чем хардкорнее какая-то становится. Привет, Алис. И вот какой он сейчас, как он выглядит.
Welcome to the escape pod. Entering launch mode. Get ready.
Кстати, Саня, тот момент я с первого раза прошел. Сейчас вот. Ага. Окей, я вас понял. Вы чё? Начало? Да. А, всё.
Speed boost. Speed boost. Multi-shot.
Да ну нет.
Speed boost. Speed boost. Multi-shot. Multi-shot.
Все. Или босс ключа будет.
Warning. Large
Понятно.
craft approaching.
Значит, босс. Ну хоть так. Правда, без этого.
Warning. Large craft approaching. Speed boost. Multi-shot.
Ну хоть так. Эх,
Warning. Large craft approaching. Speed up. Multi-shot.
блин.
Warning. Large craft approaching. Speed up. Multiple shot.
Сейчас, видимо, в следующей главе будем возвращаться назад. Девятнадцатая глава. Пошло музыкальное сопровождение. Ну тут прям совсем все плохо. Да-да-да-да-да. Сейчас прям жесткий приход. Все, робот очнулся.
My name's Fort, said the big robot. I guess I looked puzzled as he then explained. When the nice virus hit, their robot leaders encouraged them to choose their own names. His serial number was H9CTTBVSHJ42. So he thought Fort would be a nice nickname, or as he put it, 4-2, Fort. Ooh. For a while, we were encouraged to show our individuality. I wish I hadn't bothered. He suddenly stopped and looked around. Come on, buddy. We should find somewhere to hide. The robo-government helicopters patrol at night.
Those platforms don't look very safe. Be careful.
I don't know how I'd managed without you.
Why are there saws here?
It makes no sense.
А, надо же было.
Did you
Неудачно.
see that saw?
I saw the saw.
Nearly there. Concentrate.
As we sat waiting for the helicopter to pass, we continued chatting. I told Fort about everything that had happened to me, about my quest to clean a million things, about my friends and about everything that had happened on the moon. All I want now is to go home, I said.
You can come to my home,
Said Fort.
I'm on the run, but it's pretty safe there.
When I asked Fort why he was on the run, he told me about everything that had happened to him, how after the nice virus there would be no more war and therefore no need for most soldiers.
Soldiers like him. As my model was designed to destroy other robots, we were built with an incredibly powerful core,
He said.
There was no way to disarm us, so we were put to death. Because of our power, the only way we could be detonated was deep underwater, miles out at sea. Even then it caused huge explosions. But while we were waiting to get on the boat, I just sort of ran off.
As soon as the helicopter had gone, Fort said,
Let's move.
"Here we go."
Jump on the spot in the sand so you don't sink. I wish you could fly right up to the sky.
But I can't. Have you got a spare rocket pack? Why couldn't you live in a pyramid?
Too expensive. Stay low and move fast. That noise is annoying. Nice one, geezer.
Почти.
This used to be used for archaeology surveys. exposed up here.
I didn't know how much this was worth, but it looked expensive. Fort said that it would be best if we waited in this building. The helicopter's still sounding nearby, and we were in no massive rush. We soon got chatting again. Fort explained how the robot call had happened very quickly.
It was a matter of days after the nice virus hit. Every robot that was deemed unnecessary was destroyed, even harmless ones. It was considered logical and for the greater good,
he said. I wasn't sure what to say. I didn't think we could raise an army to fight the man in black, but I supposed I'd hoped we could do something to defend ourselves by the time they returned to Earth. As Fort filled the birds' dishes with food, I asked him why he carried them with him.
They can't fly anymore, so I feel kind of protective of them,
he said.
We found them in a bombed-out building.
It was so nice how he cared for them. I smiled and asked him their names.
This is Barry, and this little lady is Alice. I don't know why I picked those names,
but I knew why, and it made me smile.
When we found them, they were badly hurt, but my friend, she nursed them back to health.
I asked him where his friend was now, but Fort just looked at the floor and said,
"The helicopter must be gone by now."
You've got to help me take the gunship down.
I'm not a soldier anymore.
The killer instinct is still inside you deep down.
That's in the past.
Блин, а?
I can't do
Типа
this
слишком
without you.
предсказуемо.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's
Да
a drone
чтоб тебя,
gunship.
а?
It doesn't have feelings.
I will try.
Ну, видимо, да.
I've got an idea. Yes, maybe I can turn up the power on these
Ну,
thrusters.
хоть это меня радует.
Get the furthest away one first. I'd love to help, but I'm a bigger target. Shall I put some relaxing music on?
Определенно самый последний вести. Как-то. Как будет 20 глава, наверное.
That's her. Wearing her favorite dress,
said Fort.
She was a concierge robot, classy, intelligent, and designed to serve man. But when all the men were gone, just like me, she wasn't needed anymore.
Fort sighed and gently placed the photo back on the shelf. I thought I would try to cheer him up. Looking around the room, I saw a battered old piano and thought I would try playing the tune Heather had taught me.
Сейчас поиграем. Так. Все?
I
Так
told
интересно.
Fort how great I thought his house was, and I truly meant it. But I knew I needed to get back to my quest. However, things soon got serious when I mentioned my gloves and shoes.
Do you mean the magic shoes of gravity defiance? Fort asked.
And Atlas gloves of mighty strength. They sounded far grander when he described them, but I was pretty sure he meant the same things.
The sacred artifacts,
Fort said, but before I could reply he burst into an explanation about how there were certain things from some kind of half-remembered time that the robot rulers considered sacred and holy.
Делофос.
I used to believe in it all, the words, the prophecies, I even believed in the chosen one,
said Fort.
Избранный,
she-
Саня. Прикинь.
Well, I just couldn't swallow all the ghost stories and the nonsense about the afterlife. You know what I mean, buddy.
I didn't know about the afterlife, or the chosen one, but I knew ghosts were real. I then began to explain how Mr. Preston had told me the story about how Mrs. Silton had told him a story about the brother of a man who works with her uncle giving a young motorcyclist a lift after a crash outside the Blackwall Tunnel. He pulled up outside the motorcyclist's destination, but when the man turned around, the motorcyclist had vanished. So he knocked on the door and an old woman answered. When he asked her if she had a son, the woman burst into tears and said I did, but he died in a motorcycle accident exactly 10 years ago, just outside the Blackwall Tunnel. And so we began a conversation that would take us long into the night.
Скорее, по-моему,
I
матрица.
shared the various philosophies
Скорее.
that the old man had taught me about life, the universe and Douglas Adams, while Fort explained the robot philosophies, how there was a yearly competition to find the chosen one, how they and only they would deserve the sacred artifacts, and how they would rule the world. It all sounded so grand. But I suppose I was tired. I'd be happy now if I could just sit and play some video games. Eventually Fort stood up.
Well, it's late,
He said.
I need to recharge. How are your batteries?
I honestly had no idea how my batteries were, so I smiled and said, I'll be fine here, thanks.
О, опять приход.
I'll do it, was the first thing I said to Ford in the morning.
Do what?
Came his reply with a strange look. So I explained how I would enter this chosen one contest, get these sacred shoes and gloves, then we would return home and defend the planet from the man in black.
Who will, buddy?
Asked Fort.
Me
And you? He had a point, but I knew Heather and the rest of my friends would help. Maybe it was the talk that Fort and I'd had, maybe it was the dream I had last night, or maybe it was just the urge to get home and make sure everyone was safe, but I suddenly felt like I could save the world.
Come on then, buddy, said Fort. Show me what you've got. If you're going to win the contest, you'll have to be good.
Ford leant back with a big smile.
It's a long way.
He said.
To the contest, I mean. It'll take us months to walk to the robot capital. We had best get going.
Вот как-то так. Сейчас, видимо, будем играть в аркадные игры.
Again, on Fort's suggestion, we mainly traveled at night. Even though the world was such a mess, the twilight still made everything look quite beautiful.
Так, 20-е. Все включено, все включено. Ага, видимо. Не знаю.
We took refuge in another bombed-out building, with Fort deciding when it was time to move again.
Либо скорее, знаешь, это как он? Пиксели, который фильм. Там в самом начале турнира, вот, видимо,
We
такое
spent
будет.
the next few months traveling like this until eventually we made it to the robot capital city. Fort had told me how the capital used to be a human city, but after the war, the robots had more than taken over. However, I didn't expect a literal cathedral of video games. I joined the queue and signed up for the tournament as soon as I could. I'll be over there, buddy. Good luck, said Fort as he found a seat with some huge agricultural robots and attempted to blend in. Before the competition began, the host spoke of many rules, laws and grand philosophies, comparing life to various video games. It sort of reminded me of Alice's church, but with none of the warmth or compassion. But still everyone clapped. There were to be 3 rounds to the competition, with a choice of 2 games per round. The player with the highest score would win, and advance to the next round. I won the coin toss, so it was my decision which game we played.
Ух.
Play a short song and score as many points as you can.
Бонжови. Ух, как я пью. Нет, не надо явно таки все. Это просто фейл. Это просто фейл. Это просто невероятный фейл. Я очень давно в эти не играл. Ну ничего.
I was shocked to discover that it was actually a tournament to the death. All the losers of round 1 were placed into a crusher, myself included. Luckily my Lazarus chip took me back far enough to start again.
Ну ладно,
Drive
вам
fast
day
and
off.
score as many points as you can.
Чекпоинт. Ну ничего, перезапустим. Это проще как-то, чем-то.
Drive fast and score as many points as you can.
Ой, фейл за фейлом. Давай.
Checkpoint.
Да блин. Ну. Есть. Какой ужас.
Ladies and gentlemen, your round 1 winners. Well done, said Fort. I knew you could do it, buddy. Round 1 was in the bag, but now it was time to meet my opponents for round 2.
Сейчас вспомнить, что есть что. Типа не я выбираю. Meryl Streep Fighter.
Shoot everything and score as many points as you can.
Что ж так шумно становится-то? Ай.
Ladies and
Да
gentlemen,
ладно.
these 4 are your
Okay.
semi-finalists. Fort smiled as I stepped off the stage, but neither of us said anything. We were too focused on winning.
Окей, что теперь? лучше вот
Shoot
это.
everything and score as
Наверное.
many points as you can.
Роберт Комп.
It was quite horrible, but I and the other loser of round 3 soon found ourselves inside a crusher.
Что-то
But
пропустил?
my own personal cheat
Да,
code
обычные
kicked
эти,
in,
как
as
Invaders,
my
короче.
Lazarus cheat took me back far enough.
А еще была игра Marvel Street Fighter, но ее оппонент не выбрал. Ладно,
Try to score as many points as you can.
побудем этими анаболиками. Да что ж такое? Все.
So here we have it. These two are our ultimate
Финал.
contenders. They will now fight it out in the final round.
Hungry Ghost, это Пакман. Против... Ну, по-моему, убивать не я буду, да. Мистер Гейм. Я бы Мистер Гейм выбрал. Hungry Ghost неинтересно. Ну что ж
Cover
такое?
the level with ectoplasm as fast as you can.
По-моему, это Пакман. А может, ошибаюсь. Да. Всё. Ну это прям изи было очень.
Everyone cheered. The host even declared me the winner. But then, for some reason, a videotape which contained a better score than mine was presented. I was then informed that I would have to play my opponent again, but now on a mystery game.
Ну,
It seemed a little
Прикольно.
unfair, but I guess it was supposed to be some kind of tiebreaker.
тоже такое. Но это да, бывает. Нет! Да ж твою что налево, а? Окей. Ужасно. Просто ужасно.
I had finally won
Да
round
вот
4
тоже.
and thus the whole competition.
Хотя может и есть.
However, unknown to me but seemingly well known to everyone else, there was more to come.
Что-то какое-то читерство прям повально идет. Крем типа Батарена еще будет, я так понимаю. Ой. В чем прикол? Вот-вот. У тебя просто обычный босс будет, скорее всего, с этим типом. С этим роботом, точнее.
As I walked forwards, I heard a voice reciting a poem. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. Show me your mark, demanded the yellow machine. I would have done as he said, but I had no idea what he meant. The machine sighed.
Your serial number. Who are you, robot?
To me, the number had always looked unimpressive, but it clearly meant something to this machine. For several minutes he called me things like, the firstborn, the chosen light, the cleanser of the world, and of course, literally, the one. No matter, said the machine when he finally composed himself. Before you can take the artifacts, we must play
the game. Winner stays on.
Да, сплошная машина.
You of all people should know. This contest was conceived after we won the war. To find the greatest robot. To find the one. I beat my predecessor and he beat his. However, I have an advantage. The humans broadcasting their nice virus wasn't the first time I had felt the sweet sting of life. Long before then I briefly worked in a seaside arcade. However, I was recalled in 1974 when my AI was deemed too great for the general public. No one could beat me then, and no one can beat me now.
Чего? А.
I've played the toaster better than you.
Прикольно.
I was better than you on my first boot up. so you can't win. Stop doing that. That wasn't fair. Stop doing that.
Ну да. И
That
победа.
wasn't fair.
Sometimes my conquered opponent has to be coaxed into submission, said the machine. Some by force, some by bribery, some just need a few simple words. But I understand my fate.
There will come soft rains and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire. Why haven't you done it? The button is right there. My soul is yours to take. But killing him was the last thing I wanted to do. So I asked him why should I? Because, he replied, this is the way things are, this is the way things have always been. So everyone wants to win
Хороший
this
ответ.
game, so
Потому
they
что...
can sit in the dark cave waiting to play the game again. Things will have to change.
Такой пафос прям. Люблю пафос. Ага. Ну, скорее королем, а не папой римским, наверное. Хотя, учитывая, что это храм,
And
то
so,
да.
I was crowned by the grace of God, defender of the faith and ruler of the known world. I gave many rousing speeches to my new
Нет,
nation.
сейчас будет
And
прикольнее.
when
Сейчас
I
все
told
эти
the
роботы
machine
попрутся
about
за
the
ним.
moon
Мне
and
так
the man in
кажется.
Black's army, he discussed with the council of 9 advisors and assured me everything would be taken care of.
I had won the sacred tournament, so I, and I alone, had the right to wear the magic shoes of gravity defiance. The only trouble was, they didn't really work. I mean, they were fine as a pair of shoes, but I could no longer run up walls. But I guess this didn't really matter anymore, as one of the many perks of being the ruler of the known universe was that I could have everything I ever wanted. As awesome as my arcade was, Fort made it clear he wanted to leave, as he
Прикольно.
thought we had more important things to do.
А это что не... Эх. Блин, ну я не хочу их играть, ну иди твою. Это да. Естественно, это откуда-то все. Но это может, в принципе, где-нибудь поискать. Откуда это все взято. Так. Day off. А это что за day? А, по Европе. Прикольно.
Come and see me when you're ready to leave.
Fort was worried I was being sucked in by it all. I am not, I replied. I'm ruler of the world. Fort sighed. That's exactly what I mean. I've barely seen you in weeks. We were going to take Barry and Alice to the park, but all you do is play video games. You don't even care that there's a rocket coming from the moon. I've been busy, I explained, and the advisors said they'd take care of the moon. We beat the humans before. We're in a good position to enter into peace talks. Fort turned to leave the room. Buddy, you're as delusional as they are. Is this really everything you've ever wanted?
Привет, последняя глава. Ой. О, очередной приход, но уже более такой. Тут даже и не надо никуда летать по сторонам.
I felt awful about how I had treated Fort, so I arranged a day out for us as soon as I could. I had completely forgotten that it was Heather's camera. Suddenly I was totally and completely overcome with the urge to go home. I thought I was happy here, but I realized I wasn't. Plus Fort was right, I was being delusional. The moon rocket must have landed by now and there really was no chance of peace. We had to do something. I told the advisors about my plan to go home and head off the Man in Black, but they seemed more concerned with taxing their own people and tried to fob me off with more days out and video games. So, we smiled and left the advisors to it, waited until dark, and on Fort's advice, just sort of ran off. It wasn't difficult to sneak out. There was no one around thanks to the Robot City curfew laws, but to be honest, as I was their king, I don't think anyone would have stopped us anyway. I think my astro navigation had failed us, as neither I nor Fort remembered coming this way. Somehow we found ourselves in a massive forest, and Fort decided it was time to rest. It wasn't long before we were inside a huge sawmill.
Да. Как я рисковал сейчас.
Fort seemed quite sad about the trees being cut down. Our journey took us through a huge theme park. It was just like the one in Alice's town, but much bigger. Both Fort and I were struck by how similar the inside of a sawmill and the inside of a roller coaster were.
А вот и снежок. Ауч.
Eventually we wound up inside the ski resort, but we could see a huge boat in the valley below. Fort suggested we travel under the cover of night, as we were getting nearer the humans, and home. The cruise liner carried us through the night to warmer waters.
Бежим и бежим. Все.
The bay that we docked the boat in looked pleasantly familiar.
The gleaming white cliffs made me feel like a soldier returning home from war. It was then I realized we were literally just outside Alice's house. We were about to continue, when Fort noticed something on my shoes. And with that, they worked again, allowing me once more to defy gravity. I kind of wished we had seen this switch months ago, but Fort just seemed to find it hilarious as we continued on our way home.
Да, Б. Сюда они не могут, мне кажется, вообще попасть.
It looked like I would need a ticket to get through the fairground's automatic doors.
Так, у меня что, 7 этих. Так, нам сейчас надо в мейн там.
Mind the doors. The train is now departing.
Что там по времени? 2 часа.
Big city, this is big city. Mind the doors.
Ага.
The train is now departing.
Пародик Томас, да. Я же говорю, вот если в книгах и фильмах это, наверное, первым приготовиться вот с такими отсылками,
I
как
could get
куча
back to
всего,
the mainland
то в
unless the
играх это вот,
Siltons from here.
вот эта игра, наверное.
Maiden, this is
Где настолько
Maiden.
много отсылок, что просто жесть.
Mind the doors.
Ой. Ну, я его не пустит.
I made my way back out to the mainland.
Может, конечно, ты знаешь игры с кучей отсылок? Мне что-то ни в голову не приходит.
The boat was gone, so I decided to see if there was anyone in Mr. Silton's house.
Я говорю, мне тоже не приходит. Книги и фильмы без проблем, но... Успел, но это уже тут дорога фугас. А, то есть я просто так, да, сюда пришел. Правильно понимаю? Ну ладно. Ладно, идем назад. Что-то вленчивающее скачет у вас.
I suggested Fort find somewhere to hide. I thought the others may not have seen him as being as friendly as I did. I then made my way into the familiar damp hallway. Everyone was so pleased to see me. I explained how I had survived being dismantled and escaped from the moon. I told them about the robots and the game tournament, and everyone seemed to find it funny that I was crowned ruler of the universe. It was then that I felt a gentle tapping on my leg. I looked down and saw a small girl smiling at me. "This is our daughter Heather," said Mrs. Silton. "We named her after..." Mr. Silton burst into the room looking very angry. At first I thought he was joking, but it soon became clear that he wasn't. "I can't believe you came back here. It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, Preston would still be alive." "Barry, it's not his fault." But Mr. Silton suddenly looked very sad as he said, "This robot got your daughter killed."
Все, он сейчас опять уйдет.
It might have been because he was 10 feet tall, or because he literally weighed a ton, but everybody was so scared it thought. Still, they all agreed it was fine for him to stay. We chatted long into the night until one by one, everyone went to bed.
Очередной этот пойдет. Переход. Да. Последняя глава, да. Двадцать 22 главы, жесть, конечно.
"You can't sleep?" asked Mrs. Silton. "Me as well." "Number 2 on the way," she smiled. "At least I'm not barefoot." She then laughed, like it was a joke. But despite having traveled the world, I had no idea what she meant. "I suppose everyone else will be up in a bit. I'll get breakfast started." In the morning everyone continued chatting. The subject soon got back round to the military takeover and the man in black. "We need to do something," said the old lady. "They've destroyed the peace talks with the robots. Fighting could break out again in no time." "I don't mean to sound overdramatic, but that would literally be the end of the world," explained Sim. Alice laughed. "But the army, there's no way we can fight them. We've lost our band of thieves, and, in the words of that French professor, God rest his soul, we're just some old ladies." The old lady stood up. "We just need to take back control of the satellite. We can broadcast a signal to the robots. Those robot advisors, they might listen if they actually saw this new moon army. And those giant robots, they call them killbots," said Mrs. Silton as she showed me several photos. It seems the house was surrounded by hundreds of troops and a few robots so tall they dwarfed the building itself. So, I suggested we made our way there so Fort and I could assess the situation.
Я понимаю.
Mr. Logan had got the boat out of hiding.
Так,
I now just had to sail it from the dock back to the estate.
Куда мне идти?
I made my way into the town.
То есть я просто так надо назад идти. Нет, они с Каем там Primal. Какой Primal?
I made my way back out to the mainland.
Ну, хоть так. То я сейчас нафиг улетел бы.
I took the fisherman's boat to the old land's estate.
Так не было ж этой, как его? Лодки. Сейчас надо обратно в дом, типа. То как уже он роботами.
I knew you would come back here, came a horribly familiar voice.
I should have made sure you were dead when I had the chance.
It was the man in black. I have personally modified your nice virus, and now, with one flick of a switch,
I'll finish the job.
Обратное действие. А нет. Одиссея, ну где-то 105 часов или типа того. А сейчас будет драматический этот момент, наверное. Ой, это ж робота очень мощное ядро. Бум. Не помню. Возможно, без DLC. Я точно не скажу. Это все типа, ну так неинтересно.
It's pointless now, said Alice. We might as well give up. I don't know, maybe we can arrange a truce.
I mean, if we agree.
But Sim couldn't even finish his sentence.
Mrs. Silton just sighed. I think she was lost for words. We really need Barry and Logan
if we're going to recapture the house, said the old lady.
Mrs. Silton explained she had phoned him earlier.
Apparently he sounded fine, at least until she mentioned coming home. Then he started screaming.
I couldn't understand him at all. He wants nothing to do with saving the world. His words, not mine, sorry.
The old lady sighed. I was worried he might say that.
I take it Logan stayed with him.
Logan's more of a dog than the dog is, laughed Alice. The old lady was only really worried we would be outgunned. She said I would be the secret weapon as I would be able to sneak back into the house. That's true, said Sim, if we cause enough of a distraction. As long as you can get up to the roof, we'll be able to take control of the satellite. Hopefully the virus hasn't reached all the other robots around the world.
Suddenly, all hell broke loose.
The old lady, Alice and the others opened fire.
This was just the distraction I needed to make my way up to the roof.
А сейчас, видимо, будет финальный босс.
I was shocked.
Опять он.
However, this time not just by the giant brain, but rather what the man in black had done to him.
I do not want to,
said Mr. Deck,
but I will shoot you if I must.
Why don't you give up, said the man in black. Anton knew which side was right. Why don't you join us? I know we've had our differences, but I see potential in you. You could be my new right-hand man. You see, there's a link between you and I. Without me you wouldn't even be here. The two brothers
designed and built you. But what nobody ever told you is,
they were funded by their third brother.
Me.
I was speechless. How could he, this completely evil man, have something to do with my creation?
Thank you.
A minor setback, said the man in black as he disconnected a piece of the satellite hardware. I just need to take this core unit and hitch it up to one of the killbots. In fact, that will make the virus signal even stronger. Mr. Deck, said the man in black, would you be so kind as to watch the robot? Shoot him if he tries anything. Mr. Deck lowered his gun. You little yellow bastard, he said, you'd better run.
Штуки. Понятно. Хоть этих осталось 3 штуки. Что еще лучше? Либо что-то делал не так, либо фиг его знает. О. Блин, обидно. Может быть и не так, но не знаю, вот отсюда куда дальше прыгать. Ладно, можно и так. Я понимаю, что это плохо. Повезло. В смысле, кто нашел эту игру? Да чтоб тебя. Ну, хоть отсюда. Понятно. Ладно. Да что ж такое? Devil Kid. Бывает. И вот чего теперь? А, ну да, видно. Чё это? Ложишься отсюда. Да, блин, не успеваю. Либо сейчас мы так делаем. Так, твою же налево. Так, точно надо тут, чтобы она поднялась. Это все приятно было. Да ладно, Соня. Серьезно, что ли? Тут все опасно. Ух. Знаю. Почти. А вот сейчас. И... Как же так, а? Всё? Всё. А то на часок, на часок. Я тоже так подумал.
Somehow the man in grey had snuck up behind Mrs. Silton. I tried to shout down, but no one could hear me. Oi, shouted a familiar voice. Step away from my wife. The man in grey bragged with every blow. Who he'd hurt, who he'd tortured, how he'd made the world a better place. As he raised the gun to Mr. Silton's head, he said, "You're out of your depth. I'm a professional. I used to kill for the CIA." Mr. Silton just smiled and said, "Yeah, and I'm a proper c***." With the rest of the great and good now stuck on the moon, and the man in black taken care of, it was reasonably easy to convince his troops to surrender. Signals came through from all over the planet, and soon the people began rebuilding civilization. And again, I was heralded as a hero. Soon the representatives from around the world held their first united meeting, and I was invited to give a speech.
Опять этот приход, что ли?
The old lady gently examined me, while Sim attached a cable from the diagnostic machine. "I've got some bad news," said the old lady as she took my hand. "The virus is rampant in your system. It's not as bad as it was with Betty Fluffers and Fort, but it's still destroying your circuitry." "I'm thinking," said Sim, "it must have something to do with consciousness. Yours seems more equipped to fight." "We'll still need to do something," said the old lady with a serious look. "If we replace all of the affected parts, we..." "Come on, mate," said Mr. Silton, "you know they can help." But I explained that it was too painful, and hurt so much. Just having my diagnostic panel open was excruciating. "So you mean you can feel things? But you're not supposed to be able to." "The virus hasn't completely taken over," Sim explained. "But I don't know how long you've got, maybe months, maybe years. When you, well, if it all gets a bit too much," said the old lady, "come back here and we'll look after you." You should try to get everything done that you want to before then, though, said Sim. You know, maybe complete your quest, get your million things, play some games. I mean just do all the things, bucket list mate. Interrupted Mr. Silton. Go paint the town red. Remember, said Alice, should you need us. Yes, should you need us, said Mr. Logan. We'll be right here, said the old lady.
Waiting for you.
Не, ну мне слишком долго собирать миллион вещей. Прям слишком много. Так. А вот сколько у меня смертей было за всю игру. Ну, видишь, типа, сейчас можно подойти к этому компу, да, и типа все закончится. Ну, типа, можно вот... В целом у меня так, как говорится, главный квест был собрать 1000 мусора. А у меня только он 642 тысячи с половиной собрано. Ой, да. Ну и как я понимаю, миллион... Чтобы собрать миллион, надо вообще собрать все, что в целом можно. Абсолютно все. Так, а это что? О. Не знаю. Тебе вот эта песня была, музыка знакома, Саня? Если это, скорее всего, реквием Моцарта. Но это не факт. Ладно, пускай будет вот этот. Ну, это практически все либо классика, либо... Ну, большая часть классика. Да не сюда же я хочу. Тут можно эти посмотреть. Я вот это не могу понять. А как так получилось, что у меня он куча всего не этот, как его, не открыто?
The fisherman was right. Everything was in pieces. Everything had been destroyed. I docked
Абсолютно
the
не
boat
понимаю.
in some ruins. They must have once been a town.
Ага, вот ликс.
The video recorder's blinking light caught my eye. It must have been years since I had seen a film.
Так, ладно. Ага. Я сейчас смогу вернуться. Да. Ну ладно, наверное, буду заканчивать. Ботфникс. Но это типа, видишь, можно посмотреть все эти, как его. Или ты о чем? Да, типа все синематики, короче, можно посмотреть, кто были и кто у меня открыты. Я не понимаю, почему у меня не все открыты. А, Сань, то есть ты мне предлагаешь в целом забить на сбор вещей? Это явно не будет титров, скорее всего. Они банально не открыты. Да я тоже так думаю, что я не соберу. Это прям слишком много. Ой, ну сейчас загуглим. Где там? Так. Ну, в любом случае, это, типа, будет ачивка, миссия выполнена. Если после пройти игру будет ачивка Game Over. Видишь, Саня? Да, там можно было как спасти этого человека в черном, так и не спасать. И по одной ачивке на каждое решение. Но это, но это в Стиме, эти ачивки. Полезли. Здорово, Маджестик. Да, там какая-то концовка будет. Но я вот думаю, забить на это все или не забивать. Ну, потому что, говорю, тут прям очень много будет в целом. Ну, сейчас, если не заканчиваю. Делаем даже, можно сделать попроще. Так, минуту. Так, ну я сейчас, наверное, в любом случае заканчиваю. Чуть позже еще раз запущусь, наверное, концовку покажу. Скопирую сейф этот, чтобы потом продолжить, наверное. Что-то как-нибудь так. Да не за что. Спасибо, что смотрели. Ага. Всем